The Loretta Young Show.
Hello. It's been the advice of wise men for generations to look at the heart of the matter before rendering an opinion. However, that's not always as easy as it sounds, is it? We're going to tell our story in 2 episodes, and tonight's is the first.
Wilson,
Yes?
Mr. Wilson is home.
Oh, thank you, Mary Louise.
Busy day, sir?
Oh, very. Andy, I would like a martini.
Very good, sir.
You're early.
Yes. Thank you for noticing. I'm going to have a martini. Will you join me tonight?
No, thank you. I'm going to lose those extra 4 pounds if it kills me.
You vain creature, you look wonderful. Have your hair done again today?
Yes, I didn't like the way he said it yesterday. I finished my book, and I didn't feel like starting a new one. So I filled up the afternoon that way.
Good book?
Not very. Amusing in parts. You might enjoy it.
Well, I don't think I'm going to have time for a while. I've decided to take on the Warren case. Clyde persuaded me to this afternoon. We went over it pretty thoroughly. I think we can get her off. Clyde's a clever one. He brought to my attention a very logical motive whereby the sister would profit by Mr. Warren's death. At the same time, he brought up points where Mrs. Warren would suffer. It's going to be fun. I'll wind up the briefs in the Davidson case in a day or so, then Clyde and I can get to work. It'll be like old times facing a murder jury. I'm very excited about it. Oh, thanks. Andy, get Mrs. Wilson some lozenges, would you, please?
No, thank you, Andy. I don't know quite where I left them, if you'll excuse me.
Better?
Much.
You're not catching a cold.
It's my asthma.
You go see Paul if it doesn't clear up. Peppermint. Goes great with a martini. Did you see where Ed Hanley lost his case? That's not going to help him come November. He's lost a lot of them.
Well,
How would you like it if I went into politics?
how would you like it?
Oh, I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about it lately. I couldn't do much worse than Hanley. My record would look pretty good next to his.
Mrs. Wilson,
Yes?
dinner is served when you're ready.
As soon as Mr. Wilson finishes his drink.
No, I don't want it. I can feel the first one. Shall we go in?
In that case, perhaps we should. I told Irma to put some rosé on ice.
Wine on your diet?
Ooh, one glass won't hurt me.
Good night, Andy.
Good night, sir.
Vera?
She's never really sober anymore. She drinks all the time, but never in front of me.
Well, have you talked to her?
No,
Well, what have you done about it?
nothing. Just ignored.
Ignored.
Well, I thought that was the best way to handle it when I first realized she was drinking on her own. I didn't know what to say to her. It would only have embarrassed her and me. But now you can't ignore it anymore. She knows I know. I know she knows. It's all a terrible nightmare.
Oh, Bob, this is a problem I've never had to face, thank God. And I'm not a psychiatrist. But I don't think you need to agree to figure out that if there isn't any liquor around, she can't very well drink it, can she? Lock up the stuff, or better still, see that there just isn't any in the house. She probably has a secret source of her own that you'll have to find out.
Yeah, she does. In her closet. Quart after quart hidden in shoe bags.
Well, take my advice and get rid of it, and make sure that she can't get any more.
I've got to stop her somehow, that's for sure. This is driving me out of my mind.
Wilson residence? Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. No, sir, she isn't up yet. Yes, sir, we did. Oh, no, sir, we all understand. Well, it's after 1 o'clock, and she usually is up by now. Yes, sir. afternoon. This is Mrs. Robert Wilson. Would you have a boy run right over with a couple of bottles of vodka? I'm getting a luncheon party, and we seem to have run out. What? He closed his charge account. When? Oh, no. Oh, that's quite all right. Thank you. Come in. Yes, Mrs. Wilson. Hey, Louise, I wonder, do you happen to have $10 on you? I'm going over to Mrs. Anderson's to play bridge today, and I don't seem to have a cent in cash. I always lose, and I think I should be prepared, don't you?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Wilson. I don't have any money. I made my insurance payments yesterday in cash.
I see. Andy? Would you ask him for me?
Well, I know he hasn't any either, because, Mrs. Wilson, I wanted to borrow from him.
And Irma?
Irma's broke, too.
I see.
I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter. I've got a splitting headache anyway. I really don't feel like going out. Thank you.
Would you like something to eat now?
No, nothing. My head's made me a little sick to my stomach. Later.
Mrs. Wilson, call me if you want anything.
Yes.
Mr. Van Voorhees, please. Oh, Mr. Van Voorhees, this is Mrs. Robert Wilson. Oh, I'm fine, thank you. I've just been going through some of my old jewelry, and there's several pieces that I'd like to have reset, and several that I'd like to sell. Yes. Oh, no, thank you. That won't be necessary. I'll come in this afternoon. I have to go downtown anyway. Thank you.
Tell Mrs. Wilson I was home.
Yes, sir, I did. She said she'd be right down.
Thank you, Mary. You're drunk.
Very.
I don't think you should let the servants see you in this condition.
I assure you it would come as no surprise to them. As it comes as no surprise to you. Anyway, isn't it nice to have it out in the open? Robert. If you want a martini, there's some vodka in my room. Somehow or other, you seem to run out over there.
Vera, please, go to your room. I'll bring your dinner up to you.
All right.
Why do you do this to yourself and to me? Why in God's name do you do it? Why?
Because I'm bored.
And this helps.
I'm bored, but pretty soon I won't know it.
Vera, you're going to see a doctor.
I won't do any good.
Yes,
Robert.
it will. It will. Vera, you're throwing your life away.
What life?
Our life together.
Oh,
I love you, but you're killing that, too.
I'm sorry, Robert. I'm sorry, but I can't help it.
You can.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
I can't.
You can. With help, you can.
Robert, I can't.
Mr. Wilson, why do you think your wife drinks?
I don't know why. She told me it was because she was bored. There's plenty for her to do to occupy time. Doctor, they have wanted her to head up any number of committees for her club. She's an intelligent woman. Well, she showed some interest for a while. Now she doesn't even go to the meetings. She rarely leaves the house. When I come home, I try to discuss my work. Whether I tell her about a case, if it's interesting, I ask her advice.
Do you ever take it?
When I can. To be fair, Doctor, I'm a lawyer. What does my wife know about law?
You have no children.
No, that's right.
Did you ever consider adopting a child?
We had thought about it quite seriously. Now, of course, it's impossible.
Who hired the servants in the house?
One was with me before we were married. I think we hired the others together.
Who does the household bookkeeping?
My secretary, she always has.
Maybe your wife would like to do it.
She's never expressed a desire in that direction. In fact, she pays very little attention to the house at all now. When we were first married, she redecorated the entire place, did a wonderful job of it. Now, along with everything else, she's lost interest in the house, too. Now, it's not that she couldn't find something to do, Doctor. She just won't. Of course she's bored. She reads all night, she sleeps all day, and she drinks all the time. If she'd only stop drinking, she'd feel well enough to do the things she used to do. Well, she was a wonderful cook. 2 or 3 times a week, she'd take over the kitchen, prepare the entire meal. Not anymore. She tried her hand at gardening for a while, and she loved it. She even won some prizes. And she lost interest. She will not stick to anything. And I say it's because of the drinking. Now, she was happy. She led a full life, and we had a wonderful marriage. And then she started to drink.
Mr. Wilson, I can see your wife on 10 Friday morning.
I'd better make that in the afternoon, late.
I think it would show a desire on her part to cooperate if she got herself here in the morning.
She'll be here.
And I'll want to talk to you again on Monday.
Well, you just talked to me. I've told you everything I know.
If I'm to be of any help, Mr. Wilson, we'll need to have frequent consultations.
Oh, very well. Call my office and arrange an appointment with my secretary. Good day, Doctor.
Good day, Mr. Wilson. How long have you been married, Mrs. Wilson?
Almost 10 years.
And you have no children?
No, we aren't able to have them.
Would you have liked children?
Of course. But we can't. We can't.
And Mr. Wilson, would he have liked children?
Oh, very much. He wanted a son.
Why didn't you adopt one?
Mm. Robert kept hoping we'd have one of his own. But as time went on and it looked more and more unlikely, we talked about adopting a family, but I wasn't sure how good a mother I'd make. And neither was Robert. Oh, we talked about it. But that's as far as it would go.
You don't think you'd make a good mother? Why?
I drink.
Why?
I don't know.
Your husband said you told him it was because you were bored. Is that true?
That I'm bored? Very. I have nothing to do.
A woman can usually find 1,000 things to do around the house.
A house with 3 servants living in?
Yes, someone has to give orders. It's a big job to run a house smoothly, no matter how many servants.
Not the servants Robert hires. They do their job. And they do it well.
Your husband said you used to be active in club work.
Mm-hmm. I was. But when the wives of the men that Robert did business with dropped out, he said I might as well too.
what became of your interest in the garden?
I used to work in the garden so I could sleep at night. Well, drinking does the same thing. So I leave the gardening to the gardener.
Are you interested in your husband's work?
Oh, yes.
Well, why don't you become more interested, more informed? Then you could discuss things with him more deeply. Perhaps help him.
Oh, Robert wants help from nobody, let alone a woman. He likes to think he's strictly on his own. He's a self-made man, you know.
Do you love your husband?
Yes, do I sound like I don't? Because I do very much. I meant that as honest criticism.
Do you think he loves you?
Oh, not in the way he used to when we were first married, but then I suppose that's true of all marriages.
You're sure what is true, Mrs. Wilson?
Well, when love goes out, companionship comes in.
Do you think you're a good companion to your husband?
No. Then in the last few years, Robert hasn't required much of a companion. He works very hard. He's always working, really. You know, we're together, and he says things to me. He says things at me, not to me. I mean, not so that I would understand or answer. He just says things to hear how they sound. You know what I mean? He voices his ideas and tests them on his own ears. Some lawyers do that, and I'm there. Sometimes. Just.
I see.
Excuse me. Oh. Excuse me, Doctor. Hold on. I'll be right back. It's my...
Miss Young.
Thank you, John. It's our sincerest wish that we'll see you next week for the concluding episode of Mr. Wilson's Wife. So till then, good night, and God keep you.
Visit the Loretta Young Show again next week. Same time, same station.